Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV for round 4 or round 7 of the official season, but round 4 of Sunday Night Lights, season 26 from Road America. Action stations, please. Where tonight I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me for the first time, the great man himself, Mr. Carl Withy. Carl, welcome to the team. Welcome to the broadcast. Massive night of racing here ahead.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Alex. A absolute pleasure to be up here in the box. Thank you for letting me in and through the door. I'm really looking forward to this one here at Elkhart Lake. Of course, Road America, fantastic track from back in the 50s. Not changed since then, of course. One of those classic racetracks.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Absolutely. Why change it? If it ain't broken, don't fix it, I say. But the gents out there on the track, they are straight into quali because it's such a long track that you got to better get out there or you don't get your 2 laps in. Of course, 2 flying laps is all that you get to set your times here tonight. Well, let's have a quick look at our field tonight. 5K strength of field, if you don't mind. First time this season. Topped by the Speedy Snails driver himself, Mr. Sam Devanti, the cowboy. Top of the charts before they begin. Where will he finish at night's end? Now you're Nagai-san. Is it Nagai-san of old, cautious and apprehensive, or is it Nagai-san 2.0, ready to mix it with some of the best in the world? Of course, we know he's got pace. Will he stick it on pole, or will he be pipped once again by Christian Perez? Julian O'Fray, returning champion, of course, car number 3 here just ahead of Christian Perez, who's back in the purple machine for his new team, which is not Faster Arturo Racing. Didn't quite get it set before the race, but he is back here to have another crack at it. Adam Miles, great to see Adam back, the UK&I driver. Car number 5, Giuseppe Tellini, the Italian driver, the only Italian driver here tonight, returning for another season, have his tilt. Corey Lean, second ANZ driver in the field here tonight. Car number 7, Vasco Sorowski for Team Clowns. Doing it strong for the Clowns here tonight, starting as car number 8. George Maddock, the hard-charging UK&I driver, back for another crack at it. And Xavier Sanchez, the second of the Iberian drivers here tonight. He has cracked it for car number 10. Carl, do you want to let us know who else is in the field?
Yeah, so heading on to car number 11, we have Anthony Jones returning. Hopefully his luck will be on a bit of an upswing tonight. Car number 12, we have Alvaro Renaro from the...
I'm going to go Germany. Is it Dutch or Germany?
One of those two.
Yeah.
Dutch, there we go. Dutch on my screen, it's saying. Dimitri Philippides had a really good race in the practice race, finishing in P3 overall. Very strong run in 13th position. Hiroyoshi Yudaya in 14th, of course, another one of the Japanese drivers in the field, and they've been having a really strong run. Neil Gardner, car 15, having a good run out there tonight for the Australian divisions. Alex Tapiavico as well we've got tonight. New face, I believe, for Top Split.
Oh, he's been around before. We haven't seen him for quite some time, and I bet he surprised his car 16 just quietly because he's got a bit of toe.
Car 17, we have Hiroyuki Shoda, of course, one of the other strong drivers from Japan, and Joachim Osbeck is rounding out car number 18 tonight. Often see him on the forums, but tonight he's out on track.
Yeah, absolutely. First time we've seen him in one of these races on a Sunday night, I think. And I just have to jump back to Hiroyuki Shoda. He's got the Nagai Racing School there as his team. Now, those of you who don't know, there's a really strong Japanese skippy community at the moment, led by the great Naoya Nagai, who, of course, one lap pace without question, sticks it on pole more often than not. But he has been leading the way and supporting the other Japanese drivers in the community to improve their racing and their pace. And yeah, look, a nice little doff of the hat, so to speak, to Nagai-san there from Shorter tonight there, Carl.
Yeah, it's great to see. It's great to see that community just growing every week almost. It is just every time you look, there is another driver coming in with that group, and they are just as quick as each other. They are definitely adding some more pace to the series, and in qualifying, they have been absolutely stunning.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% right there, Carl, because I don't know whether it's just general racing that they come together with, but most definitely, Nagai's been sharing the secret sauce when it comes to qualifying, that's for sure, because they always seem to be up the front. As the drivers now, line astern almost, Perez is going to be first across the line, I think, for the first of his two flying laps. One of the quickest guys going around a course for IRS, the Infinite Racing Services. He and I have been collaborating on some lap guys. Go check him out on YouTube. Look up Infinite Racing Services. He is one of the best racers going around. And O'Fray jumps to the pole. And there it is, Nagai, as expected. 234 dead. And the opening lap is nothing to sneeze at, Carl.
No, 2:34 dead on your first lap here at Red America is very, very quick indeed. That would be quick for a secondary lap as well. But will we see them dropping into the 2:33 freeze? I've got to say it's looking likely. If they hook this second lap up perfectly, a little bit more warmth in the tyres, of course. One of the trouble around Road America is there's a lot of straights and you do lose a little bit of temperature. It's a little bit hard to build up a temperature over those first couple of laps sometimes. So it's usually the second lap where you've got a little bit more temperature in there. You can take a little bit more speed through the carousel and the kink, and that can help you with those couple of extra tenths.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And great to see Anthony Jones, Ant, for Team Torpedo, of course, currently sitting third on the timesheets after the first flying lap. And you're right, the guys, a lot of them will typically warm up their tyres on a shorter lap. Weaving, carrying brake, just getting some heat into the tyres. But this track, you just can't afford to do it. So it's actually a really good representation. I was thinking about this during the week because it's really just when the green light goes, get out there and run your laps. You haven't got time to warm up the tyres. And so it's a real genuine show of pace. And interestingly, we still have Nagai up the top. He topped the warm-up race as well. Although he didn't improve on his second lap. And he did duck into the 33s, so I imagine we'll see it again. But can Perez really come through on this second lap and do what he did last week and pip Nagai for the front row, or for pole even, something very few have been able to do.
Yeah, and you've got to keep an eye out for O'Fray and Jones as well. They've been very quick on those opening laps too. Nagai, of course, in the practice race, he set that 33 on his first lap as well, which was pretty impressive. Just going a little bit too wide on that second lap and still managing to get a very good run. But it is just so important to keep the car within the lines here. You can take a little bit of extra curb here. There is a fair amount of runoff that you can use. But if you go a little bit too wide in some of the areas, it can catch you out. And sometimes you get that little bit of sense of safety as well, having a few less points to catch you out. And that can sometimes be the one that will ruin your lap. Here's Perez coming across the line.
2:33.8. Get that into you, boys. What's Nagai done? Has he improved? 33.8. They are separated by less than a tenth. And we'll quickly leave it at that. Check out our grid because we are about to get underway. Christian Perez for the second week in a row pips Nagai-san for pole position here tonight. He will be very happy with that. Just 16 1,000ths behind is Naoya Nagai, the leading Japanese driver, of course. Joining him on the front row, Corey Lean from the leading ANZ driver here tonight, just a 10th behind. Good drive from Corey there to stick it on the second row. Just ahead of Speedy Snail's driver, Sam Devantier, who was way down the order until he snuck in that second lap to put him in fourth off the grid. Starting fifth tonight will be the Frenchman Julien O'Fray, trying to defend his title, of course. George Maddock for UK&I, right up the front where the racy action will begin, starting from sixth. Xavier Sanchez, the Spaniard, I should say, starting from seventh. Vasco Sorowski put in a good qualifying performance as well for Team Clowns. The ANZ driver starting from eighth. Alexis Vico from Iberia, back again for another tilt at the SNL Glory, starts from ninth. Ant Jones for Team Torpedo, the UK&I driver, starting from 10th. Alvaro Ureno, he's starting out of 11th. Sorry if I'm butchering that, mate. For Nagai Racing School, Hiroyuki Shorda starting in 12th as we go over the pace. 13th tonight, we'll see Joachim Osbeck from Scandinavia. 14th off the grid tonight, Adam Miles from UK&I. Giuseppe Tellini, the only Italian in the field, starting 15th. Hiroshi Ueda, the final Japanese driver, out of 16th. 17th, Dimitri Philippides. 18th off the grid, and your final starter will be Neil Gardner. here tonight. What are you expecting here, Mr. Withy?
Oh, look, I'm expecting some fireworks. We're going to see a lot of drafting action going on. I think we're going to see quite a few people getting some packs going as well in this race, as we often see here at Road America. But I think it's going to be an exciting one. Christian Perez getting ready as the lights start to go out, Alex.
Red lights, men rev. Green lights, if we had a men go. And Fred the Flag Marshal, as we affectionately call him, vigorously waves the green flag to get this one underway as they all run down to the infamous turn 1 here. Beautiful line of colourful skippies coming into turn 1. They're looking too wide. They're looking too abreast through turn 1. They managed to get it done on cold tyres. Yes, they have Perez immediately jumping out to a half a second lead behind. They're still getting it sorted out deeper in the pack, but getting it sorted out they are. In fact, 2 by 2. Is it Swarovski deeper down? Is it? No, he's further up than that. It's the 12 car of Renault that was side by side, was it? No.
We had Tellini side by side a little bit further down towards the back of the pack, but a lot of cars still sorting themselves out as we're going through turn 3 down towards turn number 5 now, as turn number 4 is barely even a little kink. For the first time, Perez getting into the corner, a little bit of lock-up on cold tyres. Cold brakes, all big moment for somebody there, the number 10 of Sanchez, just getting a little bit loose on the exit of the corner, but manages to hold it nice and well still. Perez in the lead, ahead of Nagai, with Corey Lean in third. The Cowboys, Sam Durant here fourth, and Julian Efray in fifth at the moment.
Yeah, good start to this one. We have a single pack of 18 cars as they come through the Hurry Downs towards the carousel for the first time round, all thinking, can I keep the rear stable through this opening lap? Frey running quite wide there on the entry to the carousel, already worried about his grip. Nagai similarly wide on exit, but he's got Lean showing the nose, if you don't mind, through the carousel on lap 1. That's unheard of.
Perez right on the grass on the exit of the carousel as well, and managed to keep that car pointing in the right direction as well. That is fantastic driving skill there. Not an easy thing to do through the carousel. Once you hit that grass sometimes, you soon find the rear of the car taking over the front half of it.
Oh, 3 wide, nearly Lean. Show the big lock up from the guy. Gets it done though. He's pulled it up and kept it going and kept Perez in check. And they are still, well, our first gap is still just out of draft, perhaps shorter down in 14th. So we've got 13 cars all still thinking they can win it tonight, Carl.
Yeah, it is absolute nose to tail at the moment, and it is just the quality of driving. It is fantastic to see just how close you can get on a track like this. These classic tracks really bring out the best. You just see there back, Corey Lean getting a nice little bit of draft now, getting down the inside, going to get the inside line on Christian Perez for the first corner. Just behind him, the guys trying to take advantage of that. Car number 9 as well, George Mattock taking advantage as well, getting down the inside. We're going to go 3 wide into the first corner. Are we thinking better of it? Possibly. They just ease out of it. Almost 3 wide into turn 1 there, but Corey Lean has taken the lead of the race away from Christian Perez.
Yeah, and the big loser there, unfortunately, was the Cowboys, Sam Devantier, leaving it hung out to dry, really, as they check up. It looked like Maddock got a little touch in the rear from O'Fray. They seem to be straight back into it, so no harm, no foul there. Of course, we remember the network issues of O'Fray last week. He seems to be fairly stable for the big one at least. But yeah, you're right now. 2 by 2 up front, Perez and Lean. Lean really looking to take the ANZ charges. We see Nagai 2.0 in full swing, gets the job done on Lean coming into turn 5. Great job there by Nagai to stick it back up and looking to press his claim for the top 5. You've got O'Fray up the inside at 6. Bit of contact on once again on Maddock. That's twice in about 3 corners.
Alvaro Reino getting tagged just going down towards turn number 5. Unfortunately by Giuseppe Tellini, so it looks like Reino's race is over and done with. His rear suspension is done.
Yeah, let's go take a look and see what we can pick up. Obviously just into the braking zone. Oh yeah, Tellini tried to avoid him. It looked like the feather at lightest touch. Oh, how did they miss him? He's come back across track and got away with one there, I think, Carl.
Yeah, look, lucky not to collect a whole heap of cars in that situation. Just really, really unlucky as well. Just the slightest little love tap there, and the rear suspension broke. These cars, sometimes they can feel very sturdy, and then other times you just get a little tap, and then that is it for the Unite.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And yeah, and it looked almost like there was a gap there, and unfortunately, the netcode monster swallowing up and claiming another victim. But we are still on a front pack of 12, just slight gap between Maddock and Miles in 10th and 11th as a result of the action there as O'Fray moved forward. But Nagai now. These are the two championship contenders up front, as you might expect to see. Perez and Nagai. Nagai's finished second twice overall in the season for SNL and the official series. Perez, who's come, this is about the only piece of silverware he doesn't have in the cabinet, is the SNL. As 3 wide they go, Lean says, I'll have none of that. You blokes can fight over the championship. I want turn 1, and I'm going to lead this one out at the start of lap 3, Carl.
Absolutely beautiful move there from Corey Lee, using the draft to his advantage. Now he has to try and keep that going down the Moreno straight all the way down to turn number 5, and that's where it can be pretty tricky. As you're going downhill there, it gives those drivers a nice bit of draft, a little bit of extra speed, and getting into that sort of turn 5 corner as well. You want to try and be on the inside so you don't lose that position, and I think we're going to see Perez now just sweeping over, taking that inside line just behind him as well. Nagai, taking that inside line with Perez just behind him. O'Fray looking for it as well. They're going to go 3 wide down the straight at the moment. Perez and Nagai going into turn number 5, but Nagai's got the position. Corey Lean just gets a little bit sideways. That's given Perez the chance to get up the inside of Nagai, up towards turn number 6. Perez takes the lead of the race once more.
Yeah, and I think O'Fray might have given Lean a little bit of help with the rear of his car there, getting loose through 5. The Frenchman making no beg pardons as he comes through the field. Fastest lap set by Nagai last time round with a 34.1. The pace is already starting to get up, even though they're battling throughout. Draft plays a massive part, of course, but those sort of lap times are what the guys in the midfield will be keeping an eye on to see if they can't keep up. There was briefly a moment there where Ant Jones down in P8 was just on the edge of losing draft, and I was thinking to myself, he'd be the one guy that I'd favour to be on the front of a chasing pack from those mid-pack runners to be able to bridge a gap, and bridge a gap he has, because they're now he's now just within half a second and gaining down the big back straight here, and as on the run down into Canada corner, he will close up in the braking zone and get right back involved in it, Carl.
Yeah, what he needs is a couple of partners just to not battle with him, just keep working with each other, using the draft to start catching up to this front pack who are battling. And usually when you're battling, you lose a lot of time. Somehow Perez and the guy just managed to keep it going as Perez gets big snap of oversteer. Down through the corner, back end just steps out. That's going to give the guy a nice run up the straight with O'Fray and Corey Lee just behind them as well. Watch out for Cowboy Sam Devante as well. He's right on the back of this pack too. He could get involved in this if they start fighting away, which they are doing. Corey Lee once again trying to get down the inside, this time with Julian O'Fray there for turn number 1. We're 3 wide, 4 wide almost going into turn number 1. O'Fray cutting across in front of Perez, getting into the lead of the race for the first time tonight.
Very brave by O'Fray, opening the door for Lean to follow him through. That's how you do it, the 1-2 punch. Although Perez managing to stave that off briefly. Great to see Devante is still in there, the former, and he won his first race here at Red Bull, of course, this season on a Sunday night, as Perez and O'Fray swapping positions once again. I shouldn't count out. I had my eyes firmly fixed on Perez and Nagai for the championship, but of course returning champion Julian O'Fray is going to want to have his say against it as well, because he's coming up the inside of Perez into turn 5, which is of course the primary passing opportunity. But we see Devante is still well involved, Sorosky as well. So we've got 3 ANZ drivers in the top 8. And that's what we want to see, Carl.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great having the great international field across the pack, but we'd love to see a few of the Aussie and New Zealand drivers up there fighting for positions, and they've been having some great runs recently. It's good to see Corey Lean up there once again in the pack, and Sam Vantier as well, just working so hard throughout the seasons, getting his iRating up into a fairly strong position and just keeping pace with these guys. just sitting there at the moment. He's sort of just keeping an eye on the battle. It looks like he's not really pushing too hard at the moment, just waiting to take his chance with Vasco Swarovski.
100%, mate. And the pace is really starting to pick up now. Sanchez, he'd be 6 there, 33.3 last lap. Of course, draft affected or impacted, but this front pack, they don't care about draft or anything else. They just want to shuffle the decks side by side for the lead. Oh, we've lost one in the back, I think. A lot of smoke, was it? Yeah, who's gone? It's Jones. After all that work, and he's had to have had a touch as I hear more crunching. Miles is off as well. Let's go check up front while I try and find a replay. Jones went off track. Let's check that out. Oh, yeah, he's been tagged in the rear. I think it's Maddock, judging by the livery there with the orange wheels. And Maddock's back with him. Oh, no.
Adam Mills.
Adam Mills. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Look at that. And he's just got into the rear. UK on UK. Yeah, no Christmas cards in that list, I don't think, mate.
Back up the front. We've still got 3, 4 wide battling up the front straight. This fight is still going on lap after lap after lap, but it is Corey Lean back in the lead once more. These guys swapping position every single lap, and as they're fighting, it's just allowing the guys behind just to keep pace and just keep them work out what they're going to do for their attack later on in this stint. We still have 5 laps remaining, of course, of this race, so still a long way to go. 4-mile long circuit, of course, so it is a fairly hefty track, this one. So, you know, you've got a lot of time to think on those straights and start working out your attack plan.
Yeah, that's it. And these guys 2x2 up front again. Perez and Lean. Lean with the inside line cedes the corner to Perez, but they're still too wide. No, they get it sorted. Swarovski just biding his time. He'll be thinking they're going slow as a wet week, sitting there in P8 just watching all this unfold, because the Constantina effect here is pretty real, and he just has to chill there and wait for the action to unfold in front of him. Because realistically, he's only got to lead 1 lap, and it's the last one, as these boys up the front are playing ducks and drakes the whole way through. That doesn't necessarily have to interest the likes of the folks like Swarovski, Vico and Sanchez towards the end of this pack. And of course, Devantia playing a very patient game there. It's really been the front 4, Perez, Lino, Frey and Nagai, who've wanted to press the action. Although we're now entering that middle stage of the race where you're just trying to get your laps done and really build up that intensity to the final couple of laps of this one, Carl.
Yeah, it's getting everything prepared for this final little stint, as Corey Lean is having a bit of a battle with Perez once again up towards Canada corner, getting the inside line, gets past. Looked like Perez just lifted off a little bit there to let Lean through, and O'Frey's decided, I'm going to take that now. Gets on the inside there, 2 wide through Canada. This is going to give Perez the inside line as Perez just cuts across in front of O'Frey, saying, no, I want a nice turn in, going up towards the final part of this lap. Really nice driving there, though.
Oh, how's Lean on entry to the final corner? The rear stepped all sorts of sideways, and just behind him, Perez says, I'll take the Johansson grass line if you don't mind. Both of them compromising a bit of speed through and out the corner. That leaves O'Frey to come side by side with Perez and go past him on the run into turn 1. Lean, what's he doing? He's kind of picked the air. He's going to go the outside line. Here comes Nagai 2.0 up the inside into turn 1. It's going to be Nagai and Perez side by side. Coming back underneath in a very strong move is Lean. He wants to lead this out of turn 3, but he's not going to get the chance as Nagai covers him off. But 2x2, is it? Yes, it is. O'Frey making the space for Lean to come and track out. But I tell you, they don't need to be racing this hard this early, but they're certainly putting on a show.
It is fantastic to watch, and it's hard to call sometimes because you're watching it just going, what are these guys doing? It's just crazy stuff at the moment as we go almost 4 wide once again. Perez on the grass to defend from Corey Lean behind him, and that's given O'Frey the chance to get through down into turn 5. O'Frey just running a little bit wide. Perez is going to get a nice run up towards turn number 6 here. Will he be able to make the move? Not quite by the looks of it. He's going to try. He is trying. He's going to be side by side as they're going to go down towards turn number 7 and 8, and that should just advantage O'Frey.
Yeah, side-by-side contact there between Lean and Nagai. Nagai seems to carry the worst luck when it comes to these things. Really hoping that He hasn't picked up any damage out of that, but that has meant that Devante, the Cowboys, moved up one position by default. Now the question is, does he keep the elbows out and defend from the guy, or has he still got a bit of patience left, as we've got about 4.5 laps to go? They come out of the carousel in the mid to latter stages of lap 6 of 10 here tonight. You know it's a big track when there's only 10 laps in the skips. These guys really putting on a show for every single one of them. Look at the drift almost. They just slide through the kink there, flat out in 5th gear as they're looking and they're trying to make it 3 wide once again. Perez taking the advantage. O'Fray holding the inside line. Perez looking to get it done around the outside onto the wooden exit curbings. Quite a unique feature of this track, Carl. Wooden exit curbings. You don't see that many places.
No, I think that's left from the 50s. That's been there since they started the track. And one of those beautiful little relics of the place. One of my favourite tracks around America. It is such a fantastic place, unchanged, as we said, since 55, I think it was, when it was first opened. But it is one of those rare tracks that has remained the same since start to finish. And it is that real classic style of racing, which suits these Skippy cars so much. These are very much like the early Formula cars, and they work so well on a track like this. Again, 3 wide as we go down the front straight. Going down towards turn 1, Perez, O'Fray, Lean there battling away, and Lean's got the inside. He's trying to hold off Perez. Perez is going to get a good run on the outside once more. Perez in the lead for the time being.
Yeah, these guys really showing the nuanced approach, even to pedal inputs and what have you, to get it sorted from 3 to 2 to solo, all in the space of 50 metres in the braking zone. They're really putting on a fantastic display of control. It's interesting, that you've got the guys sitting in the back waiting patiently versus the guys who want to lead almost every corner, and you can see them again 3 wide briefly on the run down to turn 5. Who's going to get it? O'Fray will be able to break the deepest and gets around Lean, clear line, and then we see Perez up the inside again. It's really a really strong game of patience is what you're going to play if you're in the second half of this pack. But then at some point you see the likes of Swarovski and Vico on the back of this. They've got to make a decision with 3.5 to go, as you see side by side for Swarovski and Vico. Swarovski's now looking to make that decision to move forward in this pack, because if you don't, you may as well have parked it in the garage, because you won't have a chance to win it or bin it, as they say.
No, it's a little bit more like pack racing, in all honesty. It's a bit like calling Daytona at the moment. These guys all so close to each other, just using the draft and taking advantage of that. And sometimes it's not necessarily the best place to be in the lead coming onto that final lap. And I think that might be one of the things to watch out for, is who is in the lead of this race. If they manage to break away and get a little bit of gap between themselves and the car behind to break that draft, then they could be okay. But nobody's been able to break that gap so far. They've just been chopping and changing so much. So it's going to get down to very much the wire here. And we've got racing throughout the pack as well. It's hard to take your eye away from the front at the moment. But I was just going to bit of a look through at just some of the other battles going on. Hirayuki Shoda having a good run against Giuseppe Tellini. Shoda missing his rear wing at the moment. And Jochen Özbeck having a fantastic battle from 11th down to 15th, I think. Those guys are 16th even. I think. And so you've got these great little battle packs going on further down through the field, but up the front, the action is just frenetic.
Yeah, it doesn't stop up the front, and I can tell you those guys in that back pack there, which is in the latter half of the field that we just caught a glimpse of there, how frustrating. That's a lead pack in 99 out of 100 races during the week, and yet they're fighting it out as low as 16th. As side by side again, Lean showing the nose up the inside of turn 1, giving O'Fray a run for his money. Perez now relegated to third. Devante hanging on grimly, that P4 though. Looking up the inside of Devante now is Sanchez, who, as he showed at Red Bull when he raced there, really does bide his time and then attack in the latter stages of the race. And that's what we're starting to see now from Sanchez, the 10-plated Iberian, although Devante now coming back at him and resting that spot as we see a big move to the outside from the 4. Perez saying, I'll have me some of that. Look at the attitude on that car. 3 wide. They go up front and it comes across. Lean comes back underneath. O'Fray puts it on the apex and says, that's my line, and he hangs on to it. Perez making the big move to the lead there, and Devante is still having to defend from Sanchez. Devante, the newly minted 7K driver from last week, really getting the elbows out and making sure that he doesn't get shuffled back, Carl.
Yeah, look, really, really nice driving there. That was superb action. I mean, that takes your breath away a little bit when you see stuff like that. That was fantastic at driving, just to keep those cars from not touching. They were millimetre perfect there. A little bit further down, Adam Mills is just out of the race, unfortunately. Free wide down towards turn number 5, just got squeezed in the middle, just between car number 18, so Jochen Osbeck, and another driver. So that's him out of the race, unfortunately. But we still have the battle going on. Christian Perez still in the lead. Julian O'Fray still battling away there as well. O'Fray trying again to get up the inside of Canada corner once more. And you've got Corey Lean just sitting right on the tail of O'Fray once more. Sam Devantia now getting in on the action as well. Those guys that have just been sitting back watching this fight are now starting to think about the end of this race. So they've been watching these guys at the front, trying to study where they've been fast and slow. And now's the time to attack for your Sam Devantias, for your Xavier Sanchez's. Even the guy as well. The guy's been shuffled back quite a lot at the moment, but he can easily work his way back up there as O'Fray is sideways on the exit of the corner, the final corner up the straight.
Yeah, and Devantia now having to fend off all comers. He did that successfully, so much so that he's now going to attack on the outside of 1, 3 wide, if you don't mind again. Oh, can they make it 4? Surely not. Lean hunting in the background, trying every way, which way he can to make it 4 wide. But it's 3 by 3, if you don't mind. They settle for 2s through turn 1, just. Look at that, 4 rows deep of 2s with a spare on the back. It was that Swarovski off the back, I think it was. Might have been Sanchez, but still they're going 2 by 2. Can they be 4 wide by the end of this straight? I don't know. What do you reckon, Carl?
Look, we've got every chance. You can easily fit 4 skippies here at Road America, so let's go for it. And I think they're going to want to. Corey Lean looking to make that 4 wide opportunity here as they're going down towards turn number 5. But just in front of them, just not able to get a little bit of gap that's needed. Sanvantia now working his way through and getting the lead of this race. The Cowboy has absolutely snatched this one. Perfect timing for Devantia to get up at the front of the field now, working with Corey Lean behind, and Lean just getting up there into 2nd place, and all of a sudden Perez and O'Fray have gone from leading down to 3rd and 4th in this race.
Yeah, amazing timing for the Cowboy as he left it, or put it 1 lap too early though. Very easy to go from 1st to 5th here in the space of the first 5 corners of each and every lap, but Devantia said it's time to move, and move he did, and the front pack looking the most spread out it has all night, with just the lap and a half to go. Look at him line astern. It's the first time I think we've seen it for half a dozen laps. It'll all compress here at Canada, of course. Look at them all. Look at their lips, ready to go for the big lunge into Canada as they all look at the angle of the rear of the cars, the attitude as they come through the kink. Flat out in 5th once again. And here we go, side by side. Can they do it again into Canada? They hit the braking zone. About the 2 board. Lean takes it from Devantia. Perez looking to take it from O'Fray around the outside of Canada. They got 2 by 2. They come up again in through the final sector and a half. They're going to set up the run. Oh, I don't know. Do you go for it at 1 to move forward in the pack? Do you go for it at 5 to get it done? Oh, there we go. Lean once again, clipping the grass on the outside. The attitude of the car reflecting the effort he's putting in, Carl.
Yeah, look, that's it. Really, really hustling this car at the moment. But that little bit of contact is... Oh! Devantia just gets caught by Perez as well as Lean. Perez just got a little bit of contact there. This is going to give O'Fray the chance to get a run right here down towards turn number 1. In we go. O'Fray taking the lead right now. Will he be able to hold it from Perez? Perez on the outside, O'Fray on the inside. They are getting very racy now, but this gives Devantier and Lean the chance down towards turn number 5 now to try and get back. It's looking good, you've got to say, for the Cowboy at the moment. He could have an opportunity. He just has to get that car, getting a good exit right there. Goes across the grass a little bit. That could give Lean the opportunity. Perez has managed to break free a little bit now. They're 3 wide. It's O'Fray, Devantia, and Lean down towards turn number 5. Watch out for the guy just behind as well. He's looking to try and stick a nose up there as well on that inside line. It is going to be a battle to the finish line right here.
Oh, well played, gents. They got it through turn 5 in pairs. Although with Perez, the exception, leading them away, these guys fighting over the scraps in the middle of this pack will be ruining opportunities lost if they're not careful. Devantier now, he made the big move to take the lead of the race. He's now positioned very well, but it's Perez. He's now out to nearly 7/10 of a second. These guys will rapidly be shifting strategic maneuvers in their head. Where do I want to put my car to maximize my position? Realistically, the top 3 or 4 can win it side by side through the carousel, if you don't mind, on the final lap. That's how they're doing it tonight. These guys trying to get into the top 5 only at this stage. Corey Lean, Perez, Devantier, 2 ANZ drivers pushing the Spaniard. Although the Spaniard in Christian Perez, he's half a second up. These guys will close up. Devantier, you watch. I reckon he'll sit and wait for his chance. No, call me a fool because he's gone to the outside. No, I reckon he'll wait. There it is. He's pulled back into line because he knew half a second they would lose that and more into the braking zone of Canada if they went side by side.
Frey and the guy. The guy's gone around.
Oh, we'll have a look at that incident after. We'll stay for the lead of the race. Perez and the 2 ANZ drivers of Lean and Devantier, they're going to duke it out. What's Perez got? Runs it tight on exit, slow through the corner.
Possibly?
No,
it could be here for Lean.
It could be, but I think he was slowing them up. Devantier's going to go close. Devantier around the inside now. It's Devantier. The Cowboys got it. I think he got it. The Cowboy got it. They were split by nothing.
0.034 of a second between the top 3 there. Perez in the middle came second. Corey Lean came home third by absolutely nothing. A cigarette paper separates the top 3 drivers here at Road America for Sunday Night Lights even. Another top race on Top Split TV.
Holy dooly. Let's go find out what happened. We sort of caught a glimpse of it into the final run through Canada corner. Whoops, hang on, I hit the wrong button. Let's go back. Try again. Hang on.
So, just looks like there was a little bit of a late moment for Sorosky once we get there, and just went into the back of the guy. The guy goes around, unfortunately, and catches out one of the other drivers there.
The 6 car there did very well. It was Giuseppe Tellini. Did very well not to get caught up in the accident, but it cost him positions. Can you believe it? Oh, he's
Tellini got taken out, I think. So yeah, Tellini, I think, got taken out with that one, unfortunately. So
I think that was his incident limit, mate. I think he's teleported off into another universe on the back of that one.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of there, because he just disappeared after making contact with the guy there, unfortunately. So a real big shame there for him.
Yeah, that's it. We might just check out. I wonder if there's another camera angle we can get on this finish, just to see how close it was, because there was just absolutely nothing in it, was there? What's number 3? No, that's too far back. Let's go back in there. These guys, they just, yeah, look at it. Like, I mean, I think Perez almost tried to get a little bit too cute on the exit of the final corner to cost the other guys the run, but Devantier laid back, and then we'll hear from him in a minute, but it looked to me like he just ran a natural line, and look at that. That is so tight. And Devantier got his nose in front for the second time this season. Amazing stuff. All right, let's go and take a look at the final results here tonight for what was another amazing run here at Road America. Round 4 for season 26 of Sunday Night Lights. We see Sam Devantier grab his second win of the season, second win ever for the Cowboys, second win of the season. Speedy Snail's driver coming out on top, and an amazing finish just ahead of Christian Perez. I know he's got faster Arturo. I think he's from Astro now. We'll just get that updated, Mr. Perez. And rounding out the podium, 2 ANZ drivers on the podium. We haven't seen that for a while. Corey Lean who had the elbows out all night and really took it to some of the international stalwarts of the front end of these fields. And 1-3 finish for the ANZ drivers, fantastic effort. Julian O'Fray, of course, last season's champion, managing to hang on to fourth. Xavier Sanchez moves forward late in the field again, late in the race, and finishes fifth. Alexis Vico, welcome back. He's finished in sixth. Hiroyuki Shorter for Nagai Racing School. That's his best finish in P7, taking advantage of some of those late race incidents. Unfortunately, his senpai, his teacher, was the one who got taken out to give him those spots. Ant Jones, similarly, recovering a bit. And I think he was only up a couple. He didn't qualify well, which is a surprise. But he's up to 8th. Dimitri Philippides, after doing so well in the warm-up race, finishes 9th. Neil Gardner, top 10 finish. I think it's probably the second week in a row for the ANZ driver. Great to see 3 ANZ drivers in the top 10. Hiroshi Ueda from Japan in 11th. Naoya Nagai relegated to the final point scoring positions on a Sunday night. Japanese driver finishing 12th, just ahead of UK and I's George Maddock. Team Clowns, Vasco Sorowski. He was on for a top 5 and then it all came unstuck at Canada for the last time round. I'm sure we will hear from the Team Clowns driver later on. We've got a few people lined up in the booth, in the green room, ready to go. Alvaro Reyno, we didn't see much of him on his debut, but he's finished 15th. Giuseppe Tellini, who I'm pretty sure racked up his incident points and just that was it. He was off to a parallel universe. He's down to 16th, just ahead of UK and I's Adam Miles. And what I think is his debut, Joachim Osbeck, the Scandinavian driver, unfortunately finishes last.
Got a bit unlucky in the final corner, unfortunately. Just got a little bit too much gas going through that final corner and went into the tyre barrier a bit earlier in the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, that'd do it, unfortunately, for Joachim. What do you think, mate? I think they put on a show for your first one. What do you reckon?
Oh, look, yes, it's going to be hard to beat that, isn't it, really? We had the guy that puts the gas in the gastropods, Mr. Sam Devantier, just absolutely rocking that one. Fantastic job for the speedy sail driver. That finish, just, you can't say more about it. You don't get closer than that, even on the ovals. You don't get closer than that easily. Fantastic job. Really great racing from all as well. Just to be racing that close for that long as well without more incidents is always just a fantastic thing to see. And the few incidents we had were just little tiny mistakes here and there, and it was just really racing incident situations, which, are going to happen when you're racing that hard.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It was pretty cool to see the quality up front in and amongst what was a really staunchly fought battle, and it goes to show you what can happen here at Road America and the sort of racing the skips can put on. But let's start getting through our list of drivers here. Let's start with our race winner here tonight. He's got his second race win, Mr. Devantier, mate. How was that one for you? A bit of a heart starter?
The heart was beating. It was beating pretty good. So I'm alive still.
Yeah, mate. Look, it looked like you were biding your time there for a little while and then really made the move on about lap 9, I think it was, from memory, to push forward. Made a strong move and then, positioned yourself really well for the final run to the line and just won it by a smidge, mate.
Just a smidge, yeah. I nearly lost in the grass from Christian, which he apologised for. He said sorry. So that's all forgiven. Just racing. All hard racing. But yeah, it's tough, seriously. 5K soft. Some of the best in the world racing. So
yeah, mate. What more could you ask for, mate? Second win in a 5K soft, first one of the season, and that sort of night out of racing. So, brilliant job, mate. Congratulations. Strong performance. Another one to stick in the kit bag, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or say good day to tonight?
Probably you guys, obviously, and welcome, Carl, to the booth for the first time. Hope you enjoyed that race. There's a lot more in the future. It's just everyone in the race, and shout out to the Milo boys because they got a bit of surprise coming up. So yeah, good luck with that. So yeah, just everyone and the team as well. Speedy Snail guys, everyone.
Yeah, don't forget those speedy snails, mate. Don't forget those ones that you climbed over to get here, mate. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
All right, very good. Thanks, Sam, mate. We'll look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, you too, guys. See you.
There you go. Carl Speedy Snail's leader in terms of the race results at the moment, young Sam Devantier. He's done a magic job there tonight.
Absolutely, and you're talking about championship sort of title charges of Perez and the guy and Frey, of course, and Davante's just there. He's chucked his cowboy hat into the mix and saying, "Look, don't forget about me now."
Yeah.
So definitely somebody to watch out for this season.
Great point that you make, just quietly. I hadn't considered the old cowboy. I had my eyes on the Frays and the guys and the Perez, as you say. Yeah, very interesting to consider that. Now, speaking of Mr. Perez, let's bring him up and say g'day. Christian, mate, had the strategy worked out for the last corner and it didn't quite work out for you. How was the racing out there tonight, Christian?
Hello everyone. Was crazy. Yeah, as I knew. So as I tell you that the win was a lottery, but I won the podium and I achieved it. So yeah, in the last corner I just lift a lot. So because I knew that the win was almost impossible, but the second place, if I get a good side draft, I maybe could win again to Corey, and yes, it did. So perfect.
Yeah, good job, mate. It's tough to win him from front there. It's not quite like the old days where the skippies, you think third place was always the place to be, but it worked out for Sam tonight that third was the place to be. But look, mate, there was some strong racing in there, good clean stuff a lot of the time as well, and weren't too many bumps and bruises. I hope you enjoyed it at least.
Yeah. This race was my strategy. Basic was to stay almost first, second, and third because the group was, I don't know, 10, 12 people. Everyone have the pace to be first, so yeah, was very stressful. I did some outside line that I had to be very confident and really work out because Julian was blinking a little bit. So when I did, I think 2 or 3 outside with him, I was like, come on, please don't blink now.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it worked out. So I'm happy and really looking forward to next season. I said to next week.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, Christian, mate. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to say g'day to or give a shout out to?
Uh, well, to Naoya, I think he had a crash and he had bad luck this one. So I to him and because I want to fight him like every week, and that was a shame.
Yeah, it was, mate. It was, and look. We were saying towards the end of the race there that it's yourself and the guy and Frey battling it out of the top, and then there's a new kid in
Yeah.
town. There's a new kid in town, the cowboy. He's Sam Davantia. He's stuck his hand up and said, "I want a part of that as well." But hopefully, there'll be more of that style of racing to come, mate. So congratulations on the podium tonight. Fantastic race, and of course, folks, don't forget you can check out Christian's fine work with Infinite Racing Services, lap guides and hot lap files and all those sorts of things over at infiniteracings.com. Check him out, Infinite Racing Services on YouTube as well, mate. Congratulations on the podium tonight, mate. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
There you go, Carl, Mr. Perez, one of the best going around. Look, he's done what I've seen a few do this week when they're leading out of that final corner. Try to upset the run of those behind. It just didn't quite work out for him tonight.
I think if it was between himself and one other person, he might have been able to defend. But with the second car being there, it just upsets that little trick. So you're kind of stuck. As I said, it's a bit like draft racing on an oval. You don't always want to be leading into that final corner, as we see so many times at the super speedways. It's usually a unwelcome position to be in because you end up losing that spot when you get across the line, and that's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. Well, we've got our fourth place getter, another title contender and returning series champion, Julian O'Fray, who joins us once again. Julian, it was so close, a tight racing all night. Tell us, what did it look like from your cockpit? Julian,
Hello,
you with
it
us?
was,
There you
was
go, mate.
what?
Go ahead, mate.
Can you
Go
hear me?
ahead. Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah. Okay. It was a really intense race. I didn't expect an interesting race because so many draft here. but battle was really close and intense. Position change every lap. It was really, really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Really got you thinking as much as driving, I would expect. Did you have any strategies coming into the final couple of laps?
I had the strategy to stay in front, to avoid troubles, but sadly it didn't work because I was rear-ended so many times the last laps of the race, and my car was really damaged. This is why I lost the first 3 racers. And I can battle with them.
Well, hopefully better luck ahead for you. Of course, our series champion from last season looking to try and go back to back. He's still in it, of course, but hopefully, as I said, better results to come, Julian. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
I want to thank you, and that's all.
Yeah, all right, mate. Very good. Well, great to see you, mate, as always, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.
See you next week. Bye.
There you go. Carl the Great Julian O'Fray. Looks like he was struggling with internet again. Should have word to the missus about the Netflix usage, I think.
Yeah, look, the internet does not help things, as we know over here in Australia. I mean, we're usually the ones that suffering it. So it's nice to see a European getting the bad luck sometimes. But he had that rear wing damage as well. Had some damage to the rear of the car. Very lucky to get that fourth place at the end, because he had the 2 Iberian drivers of Sanchez and Vico right on his tail and almost lost that position across the line. It was just as close between 4th, 5th, and 6th as it was for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Absolutely, and that's been the story this week, I think. So many close finishes all through the field, and hopefully people walking away with smiles no matter where they ended up with those sorts of battles. Now, Mr. Vasco Sorowski was in it up to his eyeballs throughout, and then right at the end, mate, it just came unstuck.
Well, evening, boys. Before we go anywhere, and my main reason for being in this room tonight, I so much want to say sorry to the guy. I was worried about what was coming on the outside, then opened the brake a little bit, and then when they both checked up, I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. I could see it's that whole slow motion thing happening where you know it's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it. So my biggest apologies to the guy. I can't say sorry enough for it. So because it cost him the race as well, not finishing as well, I guess, or so yeah. So apologies there, fellas. So no.
Yeah, mate, it's a tough one. I mean, the racing was hard and fast. I could see you in the second half of that last lap. It might have been the last lap or the one before, really starting to push forward. You've been sitting patiently on the back there, and then it was time to go, and you hit the go button. And sometimes, mate, that tempo shift can, bring you a little bit unstuck. And it's a simple racing mistake. I'm sure there's no hard feelings there, mate. But tell me, what did the spotters say when it all came unstuck?
I think they all just went really quiet for a moment because they're all like, on your left or whatever, it's coming down. And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. And then it all went quiet. I think they left the room, to be honest. They didn't want any part of it.
Fair enough.
But pretty much on that track, if you're in the top 4 or 5, I think you sort of hang okay. But if you're anything a little bit back, you end up, as Ben was just saying now, I'll use his term, draft locked, where you're really, really have to push to try to get anywhere. And I guess battling 6th, 7th, 8th when you really want to be in 2nd, 3rd to battle for the lead, you push a little bit hard, or the battles get a bit tight, and you're like, it's all at the wrong time or whatever. But yeah, it was good fun up to there. But anyways, congrats to Sam for winning it. Well done again. Awesome.
That's it, mate. Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to see the blue and yellow machine a bit further forward in the weeks to come, mate. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Oh, you guys, as always, for putting it on. Thank you. The other racers, mate, for really clean, good battles. And obviously the boys, as usual. And
Beautiful.
All good.
All right, Vasco, mate, great to talk to you as always. Hopefully the clouds will break and the sun will shine through and some good results will be in your future in the remainder of the season, mate. So look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks, Alex. Talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Carl Young, Vasco Swarovski, obviously gutted at the outcome tonight, both, for the impact on Nagai's race, but also that was a lost opportunity for himself.
Exactly what could have been in that situation, but holding your hands up and accepting responsibility is a big thing as well. Something that not enough drivers will do in motorsport is say, look, I'm sorry, I completely messed up, and explain the mistake as well, which is always you don't want to have an accident, but if you do have one, if you can explain it and apologize, at least it makes it easier to move on to next week, and then you can focus on that next track and that next race.
Yeah, that's it, mate, 100%. Now, we've got our roving reporter here from the second split, which I understand was a 3K soft strength of field in of itself. Mr. Ben Snell. Ben, can you act as our roving reporter and tell us what went on?
Hello. I didn't see too much. I won, thankfully.
Nice.
But lap 2 coming into Canada corner, second, third, and fourth took each other out, and I just ended up with a gap and just drove around. So there wasn't too much reporting going on. I was more listening to Sam carrying on as he was battling in the top split. So it sounds like it was a super exciting race up there.
Yeah, that's it, mate. There was action aplenty, but car number what in the second split tonight?
Car 9 tonight, so I was well and truly outside the top split. I think car 1 was like 3,800, so yeah, definitely a big strength of field just for the second split at a touch over 3K.
Yeah, right. So there is a lot of iRating to be had there for yourself, obviously, and climbing your way back, hopefully, to a top split appearance soon.
Oh yeah, maybe one day I'll make it into the top split. It sounds like it's pretty cut and thrust at the top at the moment. So I'll have some fun plodding around in the second split and get my confidence back under me and see what happens. But yeah, it was great to jump back on and be available on a Sunday night and come and have a crack, even if it wasn't on the broadcast for the top split. But of course, there's I think 5 splits tonight, and everyone has their own race to run, and we all had fun. So that's the main thing, right?
Absolutely. That's it, mate. Well, thanks for coming and saying good day. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Oh, of course, shout out to you guys for putting on a broadcast. I've already been told that I need to watch it from Sam because it was pretty epic. And, of course, he's managed to get himself another win. So congratulations there to Sam. We actually had the winners of all 3 top splits in the Discord tonight. So that was pretty cool. And, yeah, big shout out to the Milo guys and all the guys in the Discord for having fun and keeping it enjoyable. And even Neil was in here tonight and had a chat with us. So, yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, nice one. It looks like we just lost Brody. He couldn't wait any longer. Anyway, that's all right. Well, listen, thanks, Ben. Great to see you again, mate. Glad to hear you had a good couple of races here, the warm-up and then in the big one. And we hopefully will see you again in the broadcast soon.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Yeah, car 1, young Ben Snell. He is a regular here. He's been with us, forever, really. Not quite cracking it for a top split run, but enjoying it all nonetheless.
It just shows the quality and the amount of high iRating drivers there are when somebody like Ben Snell is sort of, car number 9 in the second split. That says a lot, really, because he's quite a quick driver. It's one of those things, and it just shows the quality of the field that comes out every Sunday night for these races. It's fantastic stuff, and as we say, it'd be lovely to bring all of those races because there is a story for every one of those races going on, and you just get some fantastic action. And again tonight, we saw some fantastic stuff. I just wanted to mention quickly Hiroyuki Shido. Just getting up into P7 in the end with no rear wing as well. He got taken out very early. He got caught up on the first lap, I think it was, and was sort of working his way back up through the field. So again, strong finish there. And it's sort of one of those races that sort of goes a little bit unnoticed, but a fair amount of effort goes into it. Just when you've got all of that fantastic action up at the front, it's hard to keep your eye on the rest of the field, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Shorter, I remember talking to him on Twitter last season, and he was desperate to get into the top split. It was one of his goals. He managed to sneak into one of our lowest softs towards the end of last season, which was, of course, our biggest season ever and strongest strength of fields. It was tough to get in, but he managed it. And then, lo and behold, he's done a couple more. I said he was one to watch, actually, because he's got good pace. And now he's come in, and I think that might be his best finished, P7. So, yeah, excellent work for Shorter there. And I should give a shout out to Philippides and Gardner, both of whom were our biggest movers in the field, up 8 positions each. up to 9th and 10th respectively. So great drives for those two here tonight. So well done to those guys. Congratulations also to our race winner, second time this season and ever, Mr. Sam Devanti, the cowboy himself. But folks, that might just about do us for tonight. Carl, thank you for joining us, mate. Did you want to let folks at home know what you got going on and where they might be able to find you?
So you could usually find me if you look up Anne's Car on Facebook. Of course, I call for that series majority of the time. So if you're looking for some online oval action from Australia, then the Anne's Car series is where you'll find me most of the time. So yeah, head on over there and you'll find the details. And of course, I lurk around as well in many places. But yes, you'll see me eventually. I lurk around many spots.
Very good. Well, thank you, mate. We're really great pleasure to have you in the box tonight. But folks, otherwise, let me find the button. There it is. All the things Top Split are on your screen at the moment. The Discord server is where we do the race broadcast from, the interviews and what have you. It's a good community. It's where all the results and everything get posted first. The Top Split on YouTube is where you'll find this and all the other race replays. I have some lap guides up there, some links to the ones we've been doing with Infinite Racing Services, and some pretty cool races every now and then we stick up. There was a brilliant one from Road America this week, which was a lot of fun. And of course, Top Split TV on Twitch is where you'll find us here each and every Sunday night, 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time at the moment, or GMT plus 11. And of course, my standard usual partner in crime, Corey Has No Life 13, is where you'll find Corey, the chaotic one, on Twitch. But otherwise, folks, that might just about do us. Don't forget to check out the Locked On iRacing podcast, where the Sunday Night Lights wrap appears each and every week, and keep up with the latest ANZ news, views, and results in iRacing. But folks, as I said, that will do us. On behalf of the great man himself, Carl Withy, I'm Alex McKellar. Thank you for joining us and for your support both on track and off. Make sure all those places you hit like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that. It really does help us a great deal. But until next week, thank you for your company. Enjoy your racing, and ciao for now.